Politics is a show, folks. That's all it is. A big, glittery, noisy circus where the clowns wear suits, the ringmasters have microphones, and the audience keeps showing up because deep down we love a good train wreck as long as it's televised and has snacks. Every election, every debate, every emergency announcement is just another act in the same traveling carnival. They set up the tents, roll out the banners, and pretend something new is about to happen. And we believe them again and again, like kids who think this year the magician might actually pull a rabbit out of the hat instead of the same tired scarf he's been yanking out since the Eisenhower years. Have you ever noticed how political speeches sound like a combination of a game show and a late-night infomercial? Ladies and gentlemen, tonight only we're going to fix the economy, lower your taxes, and make the world a better place. But wait, there's more. If you vote now, you also get a free tote bag of empty promises and a coupon for disappointment. They roll these things out like they're selling a miracle mop, and people lean forward as if this time the mop might actually clean something. You watch these debates and you can almost hear the host say, behind curtain number 1, another vague policy, behind curtain number 2, another fake smile. The funny part is, every politician pretends to be different, but they all attend the same acting school. They've got the same hand gestures, the same 3 expressions, and the same dramatic pauses where they look at the crowd like they're sharing a deep personal truth, when all they're really doing is trying to remember which camera has the red light. One minute they're pounding the podium like they're saving the planet. The next minute they're flashing a grin so rehearsed it could win a pageant. They don't speak to inform you, they speak to perform for you. It's Broadway without the catchy songs, and at least Broadway ends on time. And have you noticed how they never answer a question? A reporter asks, "What will you do about health care?" And they launch into a heartwarming story about their grandmother's dog, followed by a statement about the great people of this country, and a promise to work tirelessly to find a solution. A translation, I got nothing, but doesn't this sound nice? They could teach master classes in how to talk for 10 minutes without saying a single thing. In politics, silence might be golden, but nonsense is platinum. The campaign trail is where the comedy really shines. You get these endless rallies, balloons, banners, and carefully staged photo ops where a candidate pretends to enjoy a local dish that clearly terrifies them. You've seen it. Some senator in a starched shirt awkwardly holding a corn dog like it's an alien artifact. And the crowd cheers because nothing says strong leadership, like a grown adult pretending they don't mind mustard on their tie. They kiss babies, they pet dogs, they shake hands with people whose names they'll forget before they wipe off the hand sanitizer. It's like watching a talent show where the only talent is pretending to care about people they'll never call back. And let's not forget the debates. Oh, those glorious, overproduced spectacles where grown adults interrupt each other like kids fighting over a video game. They argue, they smirk, they shout about integrity, while dodging every question like Olympic athletes in verbal gymnastics. The moderators pretend to control the chaos, but it's like trying to referee a pillow fight in a wind tunnel. The whole thing is less about ideas and more about sound bites. They don't want to solve problems. They want to create a 15-second clip that looks good on the evening news. That's why every line ends with a little punch they hope will trend in tomorrow's paper. They're not debating. They're auditioning for the highlight reel. The promises are the best part. Every few years we get a fresh batch of slogans that sound like they were cooked up by a marketing team on too much coffee. A new dawn for tomorrow, change you can believe in, moving forward together. They all sound inspiring until you realize they could also be ads for a mattress company. Not one of them ever says, "We're going to keep things mostly the same and hope you don't notice." even though that's the actual business plan. It's like buying a box of cereal that says now with 20% more future, and inside it's the same stale flakes you've been eating since childhood. And have you noticed how every election is the most important election of our lifetime? They say it every single time. This is the big one, folks, the one that will decide the fate of civilization. Really, because I'm pretty sure the last 10 were supposed to do that too. At this point, if elections were movies, they'd be on part 12 of the same franchise, with the same plot and slightly older actors. This time it's personal. No, this time it's Tuesday. Meanwhile, the real business of politics happens quietly in back rooms while the cameras stay focused on the circus. All the noise, all the slogans, all the fireworks, they're distractions. While we argue about who had the snappier comeback in a debate, the people backstage are rewriting the rules of the game, and they know we're too busy laughing, cheering, and yelling at the screen to notice. It's the greatest magic trick ever performed in plain sight. Make the audience believe the show is the whole story, but you can't blame them entirely. They're performers, and we're the audience. We buy the tickets, we show up to the rallies, we argue with strangers about which clown has the better juggling routine. We feed the machine because it's entertaining. Admitted politics is the only soap opera that never gets canceled. We say we're tired of it, but the ratings stay high. And as long as we keep watching, the circus keeps traveling from town to town, promising the same miracles and delivering the same popcorn. So when you hear a politician pound the podium and tell you they're different, remember this: they're just the next act in the same show. The costumes change, the slogans change, but the script never does. It's a comedy, it's a carnival, and it runs on applause. And the biggest laugh of all is that we still think we're watching serious business when really we're just watching the clowns put on their nightly performance. You ever listen closely to the way politicians talk? Not just the words, but the way they carefully wrap those words like they're packaging a fragile gift nobody actually ordered. It's like verbal origami. They can fold nothing into something and then sell it to you as if it's the key to the universe. Political language isn't meant to tell you the truth. It's meant to sound like the truth while carefully avoiding anything dangerous, specific, or useful. It's a language where every sentence is a magic trick. You think you're hearing promises, but you're really just watching a cloud of smoke float by while they sneak out the back door with your Tuesday. They've mastered the art of saying absolutely nothing while making it feel like a national event. A politician can talk for 30 minutes, hit every emotional note: hope, fear, pride, nostalgia. And when they're done you realize you don't know a single concrete thing they actually said. It's like watching a weather forecast where the meteorologist spends the whole time describing how much they love clouds. Tomorrow could be sunny, rainy, or something in between, but we can all agree that weather is important, and the crowd cheers. You go home thinking you learned something, but all you've got is a slogan stuck in your head like a bad jingle. Listen to the words they use. They love phrases like moving forward, building bridges, creating opportunities, supporting working families. All these pretty little word clusters that sound warm and uplifting, but don't mean a damn thing. Moving forward, as opposed to what? Moving sideways, supporting working families, what about lazy bachelors? Building bridges, where, to what? To the snack table. They never say, we're going to raise taxes, or we're cutting this program, because that would be too honest. Instead, it's exploring revenue enhancements and streamlining services. Translation: you're getting less and paying more, but doesn't streamlining make it sound like a fun ride. And they adore those long, fancy terms that make you feel like you need a legal dictionary and a shot of espresso just to follow along. They never say we're spying on you. They say we're engaging in targeted dates, a collection for security optimization. They don't lie. They misremember, they misspeak, or they offer alternative interpretations of previously stated positions. That's right. They don't even lie anymore. They just offer alternative facts, like they're selling different flavors of ice cream, vanilla truth or chocolate reality. Try our new Rocky Road explanation. They've even turned plain old failure into a kind of poetry. When a plan completely collapses, nobody ever admits it. Instead, you hear about unexpected challenges, unanticipated outcomes, or my favorite, learning opportunities. In politics, nothing ever fails. It simply enters a phase of reassessment. Imagine using that in real life. You burn dinner and tell your guests, tonight's meal has entered a phase of culinary reassessment. Suddenly, you're not a terrible cook, you're a visionary in transition. Debates are where this language really sparkles. You ask a candidate, what's your plan for education? And instead of an answer, you get a story about a teacher who once inspired them to dream big, followed by a rousing declaration that every child deserves a brighter future. By the time they're done, the audience is clapping, the moderator is smiling, and nobody remembers the original question. It's like watching a magician distract you with fireworks while he quietly pockets your watch. The trick isn't answering, the trick is making you forget you even asked, and the slogans, oh, the glorious slogans. Every campaign trots out a fresh batch of bumper sticker wisdom cooked up by some consultant who charges by the cliché. A stronger tomorrow, hope for today, a new direction. You could slap these on a box of cereal and nobody would notice the difference. They all sound inspiring until you realize they're just three random words that don't add up to anything. Hope for change, change for hope, better together. It's like they've got a machine that spits out combinations of future, hope, and forward, and they just pick the one that fits best on a yard sign. Even the way they deliver these words is a performance. Have you noticed the rhythm? They pause after every third word like they're dropping ancient wisdom from a mountaintop. We must move forward, together, as a nation. People nod like they've just heard the secret to eternal life. If you or I talked like that at the grocery store, someone would ask if we needed medical attention. But in politics, dramatic pauses are a sign of leadership. The more time they spend staring into the middle distance before finishing a sentence, the more serious they look. And let's not forget the way they spin bad news into something that sounds almost exciting. Unemployment goes up. That's a period of economic adjustment. A new tax appears. That's a temporary investment in shared prosperity. Your benefits get cut. We're empowering individuals to explore new opportunities. They can turn a punch in the wallet into a patriotic adventure. It's like getting a parking ticket and being told you've made a valuable contribution to urban revenue enhancement. The real beauty of political language is that it's contagious. Regular people start using it without even noticing. You hear someone say we're facing fiscal challenges when what they mean is I'm broke. A boss says we're restructuring instead of you're fired. It spreads like a linguistic virus until everyone is speaking in polite little riddles that don't offend anybody but also don't inform anybody. It's like we're all slowly auditioning to be on the campaign trail. And the press conferences, those are masterpieces of double speak. A reporter asks, "Will you resign over this scandal?" And the politician responds, "Let me be perfectly clear. My commitment to transparency remains unwavering as we continue to evaluate all options moving forward." which is a long way of saying no and stop asking. You could replace half these press briefings with a tape recorder that plays the phrases "We're looking into it," "We remain committed," and "The American people deserve better," and nobody would notice the difference. The funniest part is how every side claims to hate this language while using it non-stop. One party accuses the other of hiding behind buzzwords, then immediately releases a statement filled with strategic partnerships, long-term solutions, and bold new initiatives. It's like two magicians accusing each other of using smoke and mirrors while both of them are standing in a fog machine factory. They don't actually want clarity. Clarity is dangerous. Clarity means someone might hold them accountable. No, they want words that glide over the surface like butter on a hot skillet, smooth, shiny, and completely lacking in nutritional value. And we, the audience, we eat it up. We watch the speeches, nod along to the slogans, and repeat the phrases at dinner like we've been let in on some grand secret. Moving forward, we need to create opportunities for working families. You sound like a senator, and that's the point. They've trained us to speak their language so we feel like we're part of the show. Meanwhile, nothing actually changes except the wording on the next press release. The whole system runs on carefully constructed vagueness. The less they say, the more room there is for you to hear whatever you want to hear. If you're hopeful, you hear hope. If you're angry, you hear anger. If you're confused, you hear clarity. It's a choose-your-own adventure book where every ending is the same, but you feel like you picked it yourself. That's the genius of it. They don't need to convince you of anything. They just need to give you enough pleasant noises to fill in the blanks with your own dreams. So the next time you hear a politician talk about bold action, new beginnings, or historic change, remember this: you're not listening to a plan. You're listening to a carefully tuned melody designed to make you dance without ever telling you the song's about nothing. You know what really keeps this whole political carnival spinning. It isn't the politicians, it isn't the consultants or the big donors. It's the audience, it's us. We're the fuel, the ticket buyers, the popcorn munchers who keep showing up every election season like a family that can't resist going back to the same amusement park, even though the rides never get fixed and the cotton candy always tastes like disappointment. We love the spectacle, we complain about it, sure, but deep down we can't get enough of it. We treat politics like a cross between a soap opera and a sports league, and we argue over teams like it's the playoffs and somebody's grandma is betting the house on the outcome. Think about it. Every couple of years, millions of people line up to watch debates like their championship games. They cheer when their favorite candidate lands a zinger, they boo when the other side scores a point, and they replay the best moments. On TV, like instant replays from a football game, there are highlight reels, post-game analysis, even color commentators who break down the facial expressions like they're decoding the Rosetta Stone. Did you see that eyebrow raise at minute 22? That's a clear sign of strength. People sit at home with snacks, yelling at the screen like a ref just made a bad call. We don't watch politics to learn, we watch it to win, and it's not just the big events. It's every little poll, every leaked memo, every gaffe. We track this stuff like stock prices. Someone's approval rating drops 3 points and suddenly it's breaking news like the nation just lost power. We love it because it feels like action. It's exciting. It gives us something to talk about while we wait for actual decisions to slowly crawl through the machinery of government like a turtle with a hangover. The real work of policy is boring, full of paperwork and meetings, but the spectacle. That's fun, that's where the drama lives, and we eat it up like it's the latest episode of a reality show. Look at how people pick sides. It's pure team spirit. You get your colors, your slogans, your chants, and suddenly you're part of something bigger than yourself. It doesn't even matter if your side is doing what you hoped. Once you've picked a team, you defend it like it's a sacred family recipe. Someone criticizes your candidate, and you react like they just insulted your grandmother's apple pie. It stops being about issues and becomes about loyalty. Sure, they broke a few promises, but they're our promises, and the politicians know it. They play to the crowd like seasoned entertainers, tossing out red meat for the base, giving just enough drama to keep everyone fired up. The media knows it too. They treat campaigns like they're covering a prize fight. Who won the week? Who's gaining momentum? Who delivered the knockout punch? It's never who quietly worked on a housing bill that might actually help people, because that doesn't get ratings. Nobody's staying up late to hear about subcommittee meetings, but a verbal slip, a heated exchange, that's front page material. The networks roll out flashy graphics, dramatic music, countdown clocks, everything short of a halftime show. If they could sell foam fingers with candidate names on them, they would, and we keep falling for it. We get outraged when the other side pulls a stunt, but when our team does the same thing, we call it strategic. We complain about corruption, then reward it with applause if it benefits our side. We say we hate negative ads, but those are the ones we share the most. We swear we want substance, but tune out the minute someone starts explaining details. We don't want policy, we want punchlines. We want someone to say something outrageous so we can laugh, cry, or yell at strangers on the internet. It's entertainment disguised as civic duty. It goes beyond elections. People form entire social identities around their political tribes. They decorate their cars, their yards, even their coffee mugs with slogans. They wear hats and buttons like they're part of a fan club. They host watch parties for speeches the way other people host Super Bowl parties. You walk into someone's living room and see campaign posters from 10 years ago framed on the wall like classic rock albums. This isn't politics anymore. This is fandom, and like any fandom, it thrives on drama. The more outrageous the news, the more passionate the fans become. Meanwhile, the politicians are backstage counting the ticket sales. They know the crowd loves a fight, so they give us one. They manufacture little controversies, toss out provocative sound bites, and let the audience do the rest. We share, we argue, we rant, we meme. We do the marketing for them for free. Every tweet, every post, every late night argument over who really cares about the people is free publicity. It's the perfect business model. Sell people a show they think they control while quietly running the same old game behind the curtains. And don't think you're immune. Nobody is. Even the people who say, "I don't care about politics," are part of the act. They brag about tuning out, as if ignoring the circus somehow makes them wiser, but that's just another way of engaging. "I don't vote because it's all rigged" is still a ticket to the show. It's just a seat in the cheap section. The circus doesn't care whether you cheer, boo, or roll your eyes. As long as you're talking about it, you're in the tent. The real kicker is that we keep expecting different results. We treat every new election like it's going to change everything, like this is finally the season where the writers introduce a bold new plot twist. And every time we end up with the same recycled storylines, we act surprised. It's like watching a soap opera for 20 years and still being shocked when the evil twin shows up. Can you believe they promised change and then didn't deliver? Yes. Yes, I can. They've been doing that since radio was the hottest thing in town. We're not just spectators either. We're participants. We spread the slogans, we repeat the talking points, we clap at the right moments. We give them exactly what they need to keep the act alive, attention. Without us, the speeches would echo in empty rooms, the debates would be awkward conversations with no one to impress. But with us, it's a roaring stadium. We don't just watch the circus, we power it. We are the applause that keeps the clowns coming back for an encore, and because we keep buying tickets, the politicians don't have to change. Why would they? The formula works: put on a show, toss out a few buzzwords, let the crowd argue about whose costume is cleaner, and watch the donations roll in. They don't need to fix anything as long as we keep treating politics like primetime entertainment. And we do. Every time we show up, we tune in, we hashtag, we debate, we laugh, we cry, we yell, and then we act like we can't believe the next season looks just like the last one. Maybe that's the biggest joke of all. We complain about the performers, we mock the empty promises, we laugh at the ridiculous language, but we never leave the theater. We keep the lights on, we keep the popcorn popping, and we keep coming back for the next big show. The politicians may be the clowns on stage, but we're the reason the circus never leaves town.